the whole big story of Hope's Home started probably 15 years ago. I was a nurse in medical pediatric ICU and neonatal, and even before that, as a nursing student, I gave birth to my first daughter who has special needs. So I would have to say Acacia put the passion in my heart for children with special needs, and she's now a lovely teenage girl. And raising my own children, then going to work, working with children every day, and seeing this new population of kids, the medically fragile, surviving, and many of them living and dying at the hospital. I was very concerned. I thought I was so blessed to go home and take care of my daughter, and there was children that that didn't have parents to go home to. So 10 years ago, I started to foster special needs kids, and Hope was one of our foster child. And she lived only 10 months, and she lived her whole life in the hospital. And we fought really hard trying to get her home, recognizing there was very little community support at that time. There was no daycare. There was very difficult to find staff to come in and watch a child who was on life support at night. And after that experience and then losing Hope, I thought we have to do something different. And so I took a leave from work and started what's called now Hope's Home in her memory. I just thought I would have a daycare and have a couple of children in my home. I had no idea that Hope's Home would be the first medical daycare in Canada. We went out and stepped out on a limb and decided we would try this and take care of the needs of some families, and again had no idea the number of children that were out there, and just assumed that this was going on all over Canada. And so we can celebrate and say we are the first medical daycare in Canada. And we are getting calls from major cities and major hospitals throughout Canada who are saying, we have 17 children that live in our hospital, please come and start Hope's Home there. So we are excited to pilot this project here in Regina and in Saskatchewan. I think prairie people are tough people and must have long winters to think of crazy ideas to come up with this, but it's awesome to be a part of it and to be part of something that's bigger than me. The definition of a medically fragile child is a child who has a variety of medical conditions that require constant nursing care or supervision. They're children that, because of advances in medical technology, they have survived. So they may have a seizure disorder, they may be tube fed, they may have a tracheotomy or a tube to help them breathe. They're on a variety of medications. They may be a severe diabetic. So basically the uniquenesses of the medical child is that if they don't have a parent who can care for their needs for them to be in the community, they need a nursing professional to take care of them. Our philosophy here is that each child is a unique individual and a gift from God. That's my own personal philosophy, and that they each have a destiny and a purpose. It doesn't matter if they are a responsive individual or not, whether they can talk or not. It's like working with angels every day. You get a little taste of what really is important in life. I mean, we live in such a materialistic world here at Christmas time, hey? And people are running and going, and the funnest thing here is to celebrate the smile you might see for the very first time out of a child who doesn't respond that much, who has never talked or starts to make sounds. To get to celebrate that, or to celebrate, oh, they haven't had a seizure for so many days, or they haven't been in hospital for so many months. And you look at little things and really celebrate their life. Yeah, so we value every life. I think the social environment of Hope's Home is very important. Most medical children spend countless days or months in the hospital. The parents come here and they see that their child can play with other kids and interacting. They're on the floor, they're not in a sterile environment, they're having fun with other children. There's a lot of tears. There's so much gratefulness and thanksgiving from each of the families. Parents are able to stay employed. Lots of times when you have a medical child, in the past, up till Hope's Home, one parent had to stay home, and if you were both professionals, one of you had to make a change of career and be a stay-at-home parent. So Hope's Home is so unique in that we provide a safe medical environment for kids to come, play with other children, and number one, get to be kids who love to play, who like to get into Play-Doh, like to make a mess, like to play with toys and play with other boys and girls, and to be treated, number one, as a child and as a kid. And that's our huge value here, is that every child will be a kid, no matter how many tubes they have connected to them. Yeah. Saskatchewan's been amazing. The community support's been phenomenal. People have been extremely generous. I'm amazed, and I'm not exaggerating, but I get a call every day, well, can I donate to, what can I do to help? And how can I volunteer? We have 11 students today from Regina Christian School came over to volunteer. They brought a bunch of baking and they're helping them play with kids. SaskTel pioneers, actually we had some volunteers who contacted them. I remember doing a presentation to them, over a year ago, maybe 2 years ago. And they just kept in contact. Do you need anything? Do you need any help? They love to volunteer. And this year they contacted us and said, we have this quilting raffle. They make this beautiful quilt and they raffle it off and they raise funds for an organization in Regina, or in Saskatchewan. And they said, well, we decided to pick Hope's Home. And we're like, that's awesome.
We designed a quilt to commemorate SaskTel's 100th anniversary. And the donations, we were looking for a place to give it to, and we came across Hope's Home. A quilt provides warmth and nurturing and allows a sense of community as you sew it. And researching Hope's Home, they provide nurturing and warmth for the children and a place for them to come. And we thought it would be an ideal organization to donate the funds to.
They're crazy because they phoned us and I'm thinking, well, they're raffling off a quilt. You know, that's awesome. They're probably a couple $100. They will be here today giving a donation of $15,000 to Hope's Home. I'm sorry.
It is my honor to present you with this check from Pioneers Prairie Council to purchase your ceiling tracks for Hope's Home.
So much.
Oh, you're so well.
Much. Merry Christmas. I'm overwhelmed again by the community support, and that will go to help purchase the needed accessible equipment. So that's where SaskTel Pioneers help will go. So thank you to SaskTel.